There's lots going on in all walks of society now. Many are struggling within and of themselves, panic, discord, anxiety, mistrust of both others, but also of themselves, and shadow and inner traumas raising their heads to what is a very visible level. Masks are falling, worlds are colliding and splitting, weaknesses oozing, people using others to project at, often those who are ahead on a spiritual or soul level. Chaos reigns amongst us all. But these are blessings in some ways, as they give us lessons in how far each of us have come, and we have come far, and that includes myself also. So we kind of have to thank the Bubbas, all four of them, the Lacey's, etc., the negatives, and the plethora of others intent more on playing games, not with us, that's the projection, but themselves. Unlike many of you, they chose not to deal with their own inner issues and subsequently attack those who do and have. You know, this is not new, and it's not just done to ordinary everyday folk either. As my series From Russia with Love has shown, it happened to all the teachers and the visionaries in the past, trying to teach humanity a better path. And what did they do? They turned on them for having the audacity to tell the truth and help them. We've had further incidents this week, ignoring the attacks on me. I'm used to that shit now. Attacks on our new admin, Ramona, and again another one who helps people. Attacks on Randy Morgans continues daily, with social media agents and clowns looking for any avenue to attack or distract. I mean, what is wrong with you people? Randy is gay or charges people on Patreon. Ooh. I mean, what in the flying fuck has that got to do with real life and fixing this planet? Randy's done more for this community than any of you 2-bit tippy typists have ever done. Just shut up until you walk the walk. It's all projection, and like competitiveness, it has become part of everyday life, and our innate ability to distract from our own lives and issues and just hurtle them on to others, particularly to anyone who tries to help others. If you all just stop and think beyond the base level of operation of what you are saying or doing, you will see the madness in it all. In this show, as far back as 3 years, it was also referenced last year and a few times this year, I warned of an escalation of worlds separating, relationships struggling, people falling away, masks falling away in particular, and stated the falling of masks would look ugly. It was all there and mentioned several times before people asked which particular show, date and minute it was in. I will repeat again, it will get ugly. Ugly is what we see now. It's all around us and within us. Why? Because humanity itself is ugly. We as a collective have lost our path, lost our focus, lost our understanding of what it means to be human, lost our ability to care for each other, more intent on duplicating cabal behaviours like service to self, greed, harvesting energy off others, cheating money out of people under false pretences, competing, repeating failed programmes, and falsely elevating their own status in a plethora of labels and characters, all of which are dead. Yet these same people complain we are legally classed as dead via the capital or block letters game, but turn around and say, well, I'm the reincarnation of Jesus, Mary, Enki, Zeus, and a whole range of other names. No, you are the reincarnation of stupidity, unbalanced ego, and a full-on example of the mask you portray for all to see. But it just doesn't hide as well as it used to, does it? And therein lies the problem. The non-caring aspect and service to self is what personally concerns me. I've lost count the number of times I've extensively helped people, only for them very people to turn their backs on me and then backstab me. Even some people in our own group. They think they can hide that fact, but frequency gives you away. Oops. I imagine that's just put a number of people at unease, and it should do, because you're not thinking right, you're not focusing right. I devoted much of my time, lifestyle at great risk and cost to myself personally, and all some can do is pick one line or one sentence and create division where there is none. We all need to step up on all levels, and I mean really step up. Not just play with it or talk it, but walk it as well. That will become blatantly obvious as this show unfolds. As an example, and I ask people to forgive me for my brutal honesty, it's just the way I work. Do I have an issue with Tank? No, not particularly. I like the guy, he has much to offer at times. But Tank, like me, makes errors of judgment. The project fees has raised its head again, and I did not agree with it, but it's more to do with the lawyer that Tank associated himself with than Tank himself. And I will apologise for any misunderstandings. I don't listen to all of Tank's shows, I just don't have the time. But the bits I have heard, amongst the talk of much common sense and good analogies by Tank, there is a promotion of the fees to set up trusts. Now, from what I hear, none of these fees is going to Tank. I'll repeat, none of the fees is going to Tank. Which perhaps in one of his shows he may have mentioned, but as I don't listen to it and only rely on some of the members bringing it up, most of which I've avoided the answer to. I stated last week I don't agree with it, but I also stated it was Tank's choice and his site. Now, predictably, some jumped on that answer. Some people, you see, are always looking not to learn, but looking for a wedge line or sentence they can use to create drama and or division. These are the same people who ask questions not for answers, because if they wanted answers, much of which this show has provided, they would research themselves. These people, whether they know it or not, are energy vampires, and they need to look within of why they are doing that. Now, the issue I have about the fees, not Tank, is it is someone who came in and took advantage of Kim, and also Tank to a degree, to charge fees on the back of the money being delivered by the trust and subsequently Kim. This to me, that to me, is snake oil salesman tactics and resembles brokers and slimy marketeers who make the money off the back of others. That's the old way. We're not replicating it. Now, the background of that lawyer who was doing that is both suspicious and dodgy in equal measure, and so subsequently I don't support it. Not because of Tank, because it can and will reflect badly on Kim, regardless of her not being involved in it or aware of it at its inception. It can and has been used as a tool to take pot shots at her. And this is where I come in and defend her and speak out. For the naivety of bringing in old harvesting programs of make money at all costs, it failed and we need a new way. I also like Dan Lutz, Tank's current host personally, but again, I get questions of his ethics of being involved in Swiss Indo. Whether it's past or present, I'm not aware. And his current promotion and website of Bitcoins and the crypto program. This again ends up being reflected onto the Tank by people. But Tank is Tank and Dan is Dan. Like I was me and Drake was Drake. It's no different. A lack of thinking here is the issue. Promoting fees or charges on your website with a lawyer, in my opinion, is not conducive to Tank, Kim or I, is perhaps not the best way to go. And perhaps it could be stated more clearly on the website. This aspect is the sole responsibility of the lawyer and no fees go to Tank or, more importantly, Kim. The cabal will do anything to find loopholes to get at Kim, anything. And people connected to her in some capacity or other have to show greater amounts of due diligence of themselves and those they associate with, or what they are promoting. It's called seeing the bigger picture. Part of my job is to protect Kim at all costs. Look at where the potentials are to target or get at her, or be used against her. And if you are connected to her in some way, you have to show more responsibility and awareness of those facts. This is the world we live in. Anyone who has the temerity to help other people becomes a target. This is for Tank.